Sometimes greatness is born from the simplest things, habits, a drop, or a moment capable of changing everything. Hello, dear friends. Today I want to share a story that many may not even suspect. This is a story about a simple, almost mundane secret that can restore your skin's softness, radiance, and youth without any costly procedures, operations, or pain. Just one drop can change everything. Please like and subscribe to not miss my new tips, as today I will share something I usually only tell my closest friends. Consider how often you look in the mirror in the morning and suddenly notice your face is no longer as fresh as it once was. Wrinkles around the eyes deepen, the skin loses moisture, and the gaze appears weary. Although there is still energy, life, and desire within you, your reflection seems to lag behind your soul. Many accept this, justifying themselves by saying it's age. But I always say, age is not a sentence, but an invitation to care. I watched for a long time as men and women over 50 began to lose faith in their ability to remain attractive and well-groomed, with lively eyes looking at the world. However, believe me, sometimes all it takes for the skin to come alive is a little bit, for the dullness to fade and your face to shine from within. This is exactly what I want to talk about today. You will learn why an ordinary drop can radically change your skin, eliminate fine wrinkles, and restore firmness and a healthy complexion. I will explain why mature skin responds so well to this method and how to apply it correctly to see astonishing results in 14 days that will surprise even you. At the end of our conversation, I will reveal the most important secret that makes this method not just cosmetic, but a true source of rejuvenation from within. This is what I use every day and rarely speak about publicly. Remember, self-care is not a whim or a luxury. This is a manifestation of love for life, for oneself, and for those around. When a person takes care of themselves, it's as if they are telling the world, I am alive, and I care. Now I have a question for you. Do you honestly allow yourself to enjoy your reflection in the mirror, just like in your youth? Think about this while you listen further. Soon you will learn about what could become your small morning ritual, a simple habit that will restore freshness and inner glow to your skin. And most importantly, I will say at the end, when you understand why this drop works much deeper than it seems. Many believe that skincare after 50 involves numerous jars, expensive creams, and endless visits to salons. But in reality, it's much simpler. The skin, like a person, needs attention, warmth, and a little care. If you give it what it expects, it responds instantly. Once, a 62-year-old acquaintance of mine said a phrase that I remembered for life. I am just tired of my skin. She tried everything, creams, masks, treatments, but her skin remained dull and tired. At that moment, I suggested she try an ancient method, adding just one drop of oil before washing her face. Not after, not instead of cream, but specifically before it. And it must not be just any oil, but what is called the right one. In this case, it refers to grapeseed oil. This light, almost weightless oil is rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and substances similar to those that naturally protect young skin. When you apply a drop of this oil to your face before washing, something amazing happens. The skin does not lose moisture, unlike when we wash with water, soap, or gel. Instead, the oil creates a delicate protective film, and even after washing, the skin remains hydrated, soft, and smooth, as if she takes an internal breath. Her skin relaxes, stops protecting itself, and begins to breathe. A week later, my acquaintance wrote to me, I can't believe my eyes. It's as if my face has come to life. After 2 weeks, the wrinkles around the mouth became less noticeable, and the skin regained that healthy glow we call the radiance of youth. And all this was thanks to just one drop before washing. You can try this tomorrow. Just before your morning wash, apply a tiny drop of grapeseed oil to your damp fingers. Gently rub it into your skin as if you're conversing with it. Forehead, cheeks, chin. Don't scrub, just lightly glide your fingers. Then wash your face as usual with water or your usual product. You will immediately feel the difference. Your skin will become velvety, warm, as if waking from within. Why is this especially important in mature age? Because after 50, the skin starts to lose its natural lipids, the fine oils that retain moisture. In youth, the body produces them on its own, but then this process slows down. This is why dryness, wrinkles, and loss of elasticity occur. But if you return to the skin what it lacks, it will begin to recover. I often say that the skin resembles a good memory. It needs to be reminded how to be young. And this drop is just that reminder. It seems to activate an old mechanism that has simply fallen asleep. Try it for at least a week, and you will feel the difference. I beg you, don't postpone. It requires no effort, costs little, and doesn't take much time. But you will see the result in the mirror, and not only see it, but also feel the confidence return as your skin thanks you for the care. The most interesting thing I will share in the second recommendation is that it is beneficial not only for the skin, but also for the soul. The next habit slows down aging not only of the face but also of the mind. It restores inner energy and clarity, even when it seems that strength is diminishing. But before moving on to it, please remember to like and subscribe to not miss the continuation. What lies ahead can literally stop aging from within. I often say that youth is not just a state of skin, but a state of mind. If the mind is filled with fatigue, worries, and endless cares, it immediately reflects on the face. Wrinkles deepen, the gaze dulls, and the smile seems to vanish. But as the soul awakens, the face changes instantly. There is a wonderful method that I call the morning awakening of the mind. Its essence is simple. No complicated exercises or medicines, just water and breath. Every morning, right after waking up, before looking in the mirror, I recommend drinking a glass of warm water, not boiling and not cold, but exactly warm, about the same temperature as our body. During this, one should take 3 deep breaths through the nose and slow exhales through the mouth. At this moment, the body begins to gently awaken. Blood starts to circulate more actively, oxygen flows to the skin, and brain cells become more active. We are alive, and a new day begins. It takes just a few moments, but the effect is stunning. Clarity in the mind, lightness in the body, and a lively expression on the face. I remember a woman who was 58 years old. She came to me with a complaint. "Doctor, I have started to feel tired in the mornings." We talked for a long time, and I suggested she start with the simple: water and breathing. 2 weeks later, she returned glowing with happiness. "I don't know what's happening to me, but I feel like I've become younger." I just smiled and said, "You simply started breathing again." Why is this especially effective in adulthood? As the years go by, our vessels lose elasticity, metabolism slows down, and the brain often lacks oxygen. This leads to fatigue, irritability, and apathy. But just giving oneself a bit of vital breath and warmth can make the brain seem to come alive. After all, the face is a reflection of our mind. When we are calm, inspired, and full of inner light, our skin tightens, our gaze softens, and wrinkles smooth from within. Add to this one simple habit that sounds almost childlike: smiling while washing your face. When you wash your face, don't just mechanically wash away sleep, but smile at yourself even if you don't want to or it seems strange. The brain perceives a smile as a signal that everything is fine. At that moment, you trigger a chain reaction: serotonin production, relaxation of facial muscles, improved blood circulation. The skin begins to glow, and if this ritual is combined with a drop of oil, the result will be stunning. Water and breath awaken the mind, oil protects the skin, and a smile connects the inner and outer. Thus, harmony arises that cannot be faked by cream. Try at least for a week. Wake up in the morning, drink water, take 3 deep breaths, smile at yourself, and then add a drop of oil. Believe me, in 2 weeks you will not just notice changes, you will feel that you live differently. Lighter, softer, with awareness. And most importantly, don't put it off, I beg you. Start tomorrow. The sooner you return to this little ritual of joy, the longer your brain will stay young, and your face will remain alive. And in the second recommendation, which I will discuss later, there will be something special. This helps not only the skin and mind, but also the heart, the very engine that determines everything. I will share a method that strengthens the vessels, improves mood, and literally slows down aging from within. Have you noticed how the heart reacts to our emotions? Just a little worry, and the face pales. Let us rejoice, and our cheeks fill with a tender blush. All the emotions that the heart experiences are instantly reflected on the skin. Therefore, to preserve the youth of the face, one must first take care of their heart. I am not talking about medical recommendations or schemes, but about what is called the rhythm of life. The heart needs a rhythm. It cannot endure haste, fuss, and constant tension. When we live in the rhythm of worries, anxieties, and endless tasks, the heart begins to age faster. But if you slow down, it responds with a soft, steady rhythm. Let me tell you a story. I had an acquaintance, Vladimir. He was 66 years old. He had been busy all his life, always in a hurry, constantly talking on the phone. One day he confessed, "I feel as if I am not really here. I am always in a hurry, but I don't understand why." I suggested a simple ritual. Every morning, sit in silence for 5 minutes with his hand on his chest, just listening to his heartbeat. A month later, he said, "You know, for the first time in many years, I felt that I am alive. By the way, my wife noticed that I have become younger. This is no coincidence. When the heart works in harmony, the skin receives better nourishment, blood vessels expand, and more blood and oxygen flow to the face. Cheeks begin to blush, wrinkles smooth out, and the gaze becomes lively. You have no idea how much strength there is in simply listening to yourself. I often repeat that youth is not the absence of wrinkles, but the presence of warmth inside. This warmth is born in the heart. Try it tomorrow morning. Sit down, close your eyes, place your palm on your chest, and feel the heartbeat. Do not rush and do not think. Just thank yourself and life for this sound. In just 2 minutes, you will see how your breathing slows, your thoughts become clearer, and a light feeling of peace will arise in your chest. There is also a small secret that enhances this effect. After you catch the rhythm, take 3 short breaths through your nose and 1 long exhale through your mouth, imagining how all excess and anxiety leave your body. This technique helps relieve internal tension, stabilize pressure, and restore softness to the face. When the heart is calm, the facial muscles relax, and the mask of fatigue disappears. Why is this especially important after 50? Because at this age, the heart becomes more sensitive to stress, lack of sleep, and grievances. Each grievance, each inner pain, leaves a mark on the face. We often carry not the wrinkles of time, but the traces of emotions experienced. As soon as we let them go, our face begins to smooth out, as if we are shedding the burden of sadness along with our heart. I have observed this many times. Women who began their day with silence and heartfelt breathing changed beyond recognition in a few weeks, and without cosmetologists, without procedures, only thanks to inner peace. If you combine this with morning reflections and breathing practices, it creates a whole system of natural rejuvenation. The morning awakens, the skin fills with life, and the heart comes alive. In my observation, people who engage in certain practices daily tend to live longer and feel happier. They do not strive for eternal youth, but simply enjoy it. However, there is one important aspect that many forget, and it can negate all positive changes if ignored. It is not related to cosmetics or diet. It is something deeper that, if not noticed in time, can destroy us from within. This is exactly what I will discuss in the next section, because caring for the skin and heart can lose its meaning if one makes a simple yet serious mistake. Sometimes a person does everything right, drinks water, breathes deeply, uses oils, smiles, but inside them remains a heaviness, like a small stone in the chest, preventing full breathing. This stone, unforgiven grievances and inner tensions, ages us more than years. I met women who carried stagnant pain in their eyes. They had expensive creams, well-groomed hands, and light makeup, but their gaze revealed a tired soul. The skin seemed to remember all the tears, and this internal tightness disrupts blood flow, blocks nutrient supply, and makes the skin dull. The work of the heart, brain, and even breathing begins to weaken. I still remember one touching story. A woman named Anna, 64 years old, came to me and said she was following all the recommendations but felt no results. I asked her who she was angry with. She froze, remained silent for a long time, and then quietly said, "At myself." I then told her a simple truth. Forgiveness is also a form of skincare. When we let go of grievances, stress hormone levels decrease, the skin receives more oxygen, and microcirculation improves. Yes, it may seem trivial, but it's real physiology. Anna wrote herself a letter, simply took a sheet of paper and wrote, "I forgive myself for everything I didn't do, didn't achieve, couldn't accomplish." A week later, she came to me looking different. Her eyes sparkled, her skin had a healthy glow, and the wrinkles around her lips were less noticeable. I then said, "You have just made the best face mask, a mask of forgiveness." Do you know what happens when a person forgives? The cortisol level, the stress hormone, decreases, blood pressure normalizes, sleep is restored, and tissues begin to regenerate. The whole body seems to exhale, and at that moment, the recovery processes that are usually blocked are activated. This is why even a drop of oil and proper breathing won't have a full effect, while resentment sits inside. Therefore, I urge you not to postpone this. Do not carry what drags you down. Forgive yourself, your loved ones, life. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is liberation. It is the return of the energy we have spent on the past for years. From this moment, your skin will begin to change, not because of something you applied, but because you removed what hindered it from breathing. Try a simple exercise. This evening, find time for silence, light a candle, and think about what you can thank yourself for. Let it be something insignificant, but important. For continuing to seek beauty, for listening to these words, for living. Each word of gratitude is like a drop of living water that washes the soul. Now imagine that with each exhale, you are freeing yourself from grievances, and with each inhale, you are filled with warmth. Breathe this way for 3 minutes, and you will feel lightness within. This is the moment when aging retreats, for youth is not just the absence of wrinkles, but the ease with which you perceive life. I assert this with complete confidence. No serum can provide such an effect as forgiveness. But there is another side of the coin that helps to solidify all these achievements, making them strong and stable. This is important not only for the soul and heart, but also for the body, to support metabolism, improve skin condition, and restore energy. And it is exactly about this that I will speak in the next section. Without this final step, even the best habits lose their power. We have talked a lot about skin, breathing, the heart, and forgiveness. All of this is extremely important, but there is another level that is often forgotten, the internal nourishment of cells. As we age, the body loses its ability to retain moisture, produce collagen, and recover from stress. Even with careful facial care, internal processes may suffer, making the effects of external care short-lived. However, nature has prepared a solution, a simple yet truly magical element, namely omega-3 fatty acids. Yes, this drop taken externally revitalizes the skin, while a drop of omega-3 from within does the same for the body. This is the element that nourishes every cell, makes it elastic, protects against inflammation, and effectively slows down the aging process. When a person over 50 starts regularly taking omega-3, amazing changes occur. The skin becomes firmer, dryness disappears, nails stop breaking, and hair begins to shine. But most importantly, the expression on the face changes. It becomes calm and soft, as if an inner light awakens. I remember a woman named Larissa, 70 years old, who came to me. She said she was doing everything right, but her skin looked thin and dry like parchment. I advised her to add 1 omega-3 capsule to her diet in the morning and evening, and most importantly, to drink it with water, not coffee. A month later, I barely recognized her. Her cheeks were fuller, her eyes sparkled, and the wrinkles around her lips were less noticeable. She laughed and said, "I feel like I've oiled myself from the inside." This is an accurate description, as omega-3 seems to lubricate the internal mechanisms of youth, making them agile and active. Why is this especially effective after 50? Because omega-3 is involved in the formation of cell membranes. When cell walls become dense and elastic, the skin retains moisture, blood vessels become more flexible, the brain works clearer, and the heart is calmer. Scientists rightly call omega-3 liquid gold for health. Nothing complicated is needed. Just 1 or 2 capsules a day, preferably during meals. You can add some fatty fish to your diet, such as mackerel, salmon, or sardines, or simply a spoonful of flaxseed oil in the morning on an empty stomach. The main thing is consistency. Omega-3 does not provide an instant effect. It is a gradual awakening of youth. Try doing this, and in 10 to 14 days you will notice your skin becoming softer, your gaze more lively, and your mood more stable. This is not magic, but proper nutrition for life. I want to emphasize an important point. If you combine a drop of oil with conscious breathing, morning silence, forgiveness, and a bit of inner peace, you will achieve a harmony that surpasses any cosmetic product. Your skin will reflect inner tranquility. Don't put it off. Start tomorrow with one drop, both inside and out. You deserve to feel alive, beautiful, and at peace. It matters to me that these words resonate in your heart. And now let's move on to the concluding part, where I will reveal the main secret I mentioned at the beginning, the one that connects the body, soul, and face. I often notice that as people age, they begin to breathe less, and this applies not only to physical breathing. We begin to live cautiously, fearfully, afraid to rejoice, shy to dream, and we forget how important it is to allow ourselves to be delighted. It is this ability to be surprised and to enjoy life that keeps a person young. I call it an inner smile. It's not just a mood, but a state where the soul says to the body, "Thank you for being with me." When a person lives with gratitude, real changes occur in their body. The stress level decreases, serotonin and dopamine production increases, metabolism improves, cells renew faster, and the skin begins to glow. My acquaintance Marina, who is 68 years old, once said, "Every day I apply my drop of mindfulness and smile." This became her ritual, not just for her skin, but for life itself. I asked what she felt, and she replied, "Calmness and joy, as if I were young again, but without haste." I understood that true youth lies not in age, but in the confidence that life is still beautiful. Try to do a simple thing tomorrow morning. When you look in the mirror, don't search for wrinkles, but look into your eyes and tell yourself, "I am alive, I am grateful, and I am beautiful." Say it out loud without hesitation. You will be surprised how these words change your expression. The skin reacts instantly, as if it hears these words, because the body perceives everything we say about ourselves. I am sure that this attitude, this inner dialogue, is the drop without which no remedy will yield the desired result. A drop of faith in oneself, a drop of love, and a drop of gratitude. When these drops unite, they form an ocean of youth. Youth is not numbers, but the light within you. If you take care of yourself, breathe consciously, listen to your heart, forgive, nourish your body, and thank life, you are already young. It doesn't matter how old you are on paper. What matters is how bright you feel inside. And now I will tell you what I promised at the very end. A drop of self-love every day sets all processes in motion. Physical, emotional, energetic. Self-love is not a manifestation of selfishness. This is a recognition of the value of life and respect for one's path. I have encountered many faces, tired, transformed, happy. And I always noticed one important detail. The most attractive face is that of a person who is in harmony with themselves. So when you wash your face tomorrow morning, remember all those moments we experienced together. Let a drop of oil from reflections, a breath, the silence of the heart, forgiveness, gratitude become part of your morning. And add to this, the final drop, warmth to yourself. Let the water wash away fatigue, the oil nourish the skin, and you just smile. This is the true elixir of youth.